flashpoints in the 2024 election is playing out in a split screen. Former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris addressing abortion head on. Trump saying that a federal abortion ban is no longer needed, but Harris warning Arizona voters, don't be hoodwinked.
We don't need it any longer because we broke Roe v. Wade and we did something that nobody thought was possible. We gave it back to the state. You have some cases like Arizona that went back to like 1864 or something like that, and a judge made a ruling, but that's going to be changed by government. They're going to be changing that. I disagree with that.
And now Trump wants us to believe he will not sign a national ban. Enough with the gaslighting. He basically wants to take America back to the 1800s.
So, who to believe? Well, I mean, Trump's track record on abortion has been anything but predictable, shifting more than, a dozen times over the past 25 years. And Trump today was asked this. Over the last few decades, Mr. President, you have both considered yourself pro-choice and pro-life. Which one is it?
But you know exactly which one it is.
The thing is, you didn't actually say which one it is, and there are questions about which one it is, hence the question that was asked. I want to bring in CNN political commentator Van Jones and CNN senior political commentator Scott Jennings. Gentlemen, first of all, I already see Van shaking his head, and I see Scott leaning in with a smirk. This is about to be good. Let me start with you, Scott, for a second here, because that wasn't actually a hard question to answer, and he danced around it. I mean, can he have it both ways, and what is the answer?
Well, yeah, you can. I mean, Joe Biden's had it about 40 ways in his career. This guy's been on every side of this issue, too. Everybody's, worried about Donald Trump's position, but Joe Biden has had a shifting position here. I think, truthfully, Trump's telling us the truth about the national ban issue, and Harris is not being truthful. Here's why. There is no chance the United States Senate could ever muster 60 votes for any kind of abortion legislation of any kind. And so the reality is all of this is going to take place in the states, just as Trump has said. And that's what we're seeing play out right now. So I'm not surprised to see the Biden campaign using it. It's the only issue in which they have an advantage over Trump. They've lost every other issue. But the truth is, there is no national regime coming. There is no national ban. There is no restoration of Roe versus Wade, as Biden has promised. Everything that's going to happen is going to happen at the state level.
Van, what's your take?
Look, good try. I appreciate you trying. First of all, Trump was dancing on banana peels, bobbing, weaving. I mean, he looked terrible. He looked like the defendant in chief once again, and Kamala Harris looked like the prosecutor in chief. I hope people will search for that speech. She was fantastic, and she was factual, and she whooped him, she spanked him. And here's the reality: Donald Trump doesn't have to go through the Congress. He can appoint somebody to be the head of the FDA that just bans all of the medical abortion pills and kill it that way. You cannot trust Donald Trump on abortion. You can trust the Biden-Harris regime on abortion. It's really, really clear. But if you want to see the split screen, watch Donald Trump's completely ridiculous conference today, trying to have it every which way but loose, and watch Kamala Harris press the case. Kamala Harris was fantastic. He was the prosecutor-in-chief today, and Donald Trump looked terrible.
Well, let me ask you, here's a split screen, by the way, and while we're on this. A split screen maybe at a debate, on a debate stage. I mean, a lot of people, we all know that we've become accustomed in presidential election year to seeing that. The Trump campaign is calling for much earlier debates between Trump and Biden. You see the calendar as it's set right now, increasing the number of face-offs between the two before Election Day. Is that a fair request, Scott, to have that happen?
I don't know if we need any more debates. I certainly wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't know if we need them. I do think they need to be earlier, so I agree with that. I think if you're going to have a month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks of voting or whatever it is people want these days, you have to have these things earlier. I mean, now you have these debates in October, and a lot of people have already voted. Certainly, most people have already made up their minds. So I would wholeheartedly support moving up the debates in the calendar to give the American people the chance to see these two guys debate each other before anybody has a chance to cast a vote.
Well, I mean, I wonder, in your opinion, Van, are these debates still as necessary? Are they still, or have they been rendered obsolete in some respect? We obviously know that Biden is yet to commit to debating Trump. He hasn't ruled it out, saying in March it depends on Trump's behavior. which you might take issue with. Are you going to debate or are you not going to debate, Mr. President? But let me ask the question: is the debate as important as it once was?
I mean, it's hard to know, but if I were Biden, I'd say, listen, Donald Trump has a policy of not debating Republicans, so I'm not going to do it either. I mean, in other words, Donald Trump didn't debate a single human being. There were a bunch of people ran against him. He didn't want to show up for the debate. Joe Biden actually has a real job called running the United States. Trump's job is to go to court and try not to go to prison. Both of them might be a little bit busy to do a whole bunch of extra debates. I hope they do debate, but it's part of it is going to be such a circus. The last time Donald Trump debated, one of the times he showed up, he was full of COVID. He was acting like a lunatic. So
Hold on,
you can
speaking of
imagine
that,
why the
I
commander in
want to
chief.
walk down memory lane. I mean, I just want to remind people, because they have debated before. I don't want to cut you off, but just listen to this, how it went last time.
Yeah.
The question
a
is,
lot
the new question Supreme Court is, Justice, the radical question- left.
Would you
Who
shut
is
up,
on,
man?
listen, who is on your list, Joe? This
Who's
is
on your
so,
list? Gentlemen, I think
this
we-
is
that-
so
that's
unprecedented. Pack the court.
We have
I'm
no,
not
no.
going to give a list.
I mean, I remember that quite well. Both of you, I mean, I see the reactions on your faces. Let me ask my question again differently, Scott. Do we need that again?
I do think we need it. These two guys need to debate each other. They need to show the American people some engagement here. And, in the last election, I thought Biden won the first one, probably the second one. Trump, I think, won the third one. But this time of the round, they're 4 years older than they were. I think we need to see them together. It makes a lot of sense.
Van, what do you think?
Hey, look, I think it's fine for them to debate. Probably once would be enough. Like I said, I mean, the last time Donald Trump, not only did he show up screaming, yelling, acting like a lunatic, he also was full of COVID and got a bunch of people sick. Almost killed Chris Christie. I mean, I can understand why if you're trying to run a country, you may not want to be in a room with this guy. But look, I'm sure they'll get in there. Everybody will underestimate Joe Biden. They think he's going to go in there. He's going to pee on himself. He's going to fall over dead. And Biden will do a great job. And Trump will be his normal self. And then we'll move on from it. But I don't think he can do it 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Is that the
Yeah,
real standard?
that's what always happens. That's what always happens. People say, "Oh, Biden's going to do so terrible. He can barely walk." The Republicans set him up perfectly by lowering the bar. And then he goes and does great, and then we all applaud and move on. I'm saying I think it's perfectly fine to do 1 or 2, but I don't think we need a bunch of them. I think Trump is just doing that to try to prosecute his idea that Biden can't stand up to him. It's a part of Trump's psychological warfare. It's not a real plan.
Well, whenever it happens, I need both of you doing play-by-play, and I want the camera on your faces for the entire thing. I need a lot of memes to come out of it. Van Jones, Scott Jennings, thank you both so much.